Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
Again, I'm still here on the project, building capacity around my mouth, but I got something to back it up. What do you think? Let's discuss it.
Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
La Américain pas lourd. C'est aussi encore une autre fidèle qui l'Amérique n'a pas loupé nous. Quand il y a Sylvie, il y a quoi qui j'ai loupé presse. L'Amérique n'a pas loupé. T'as bien de moi avec moi au Ndé. En ce moment, on va battre au moins. montagne dit est à Moumouye, ça va bien faire moins dit quoi. Toi, Abela Lokenyo, quand vous sortez du roi, allez, envoyez, attire le roi. Et là-haut, Abela Lokenyo, Nivito Jobai, Nivito Namba, Martis Mokenyo, Managa Didi. Ouais, t'es jamais forcé. Si tu connais, tu connais. L'animateur Choco, Noska Yassin de Toyebi. L'homme a tout fait pour Mivito. Aniché les deux.
Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
Good evening, folks. Samson to Libra Pub Radio. We're here again this evening to have a wonderful time. And I want to thank all of you. Those of you that are watching, please share this wonderful show here tonight. We are here. We're going to have a wonderful show. I just wanted to let you know. But please share this video to as many people as possible, because the conversation is about getting ready to get hot here again tonight. Tonight, I will talk Tabata, but my Tabata is going to be limited. So those of you who coming here to hear the liberal talk Tabata, tonight I got to be on my game, because if I'm not on my game, I will eat crow here tonight. I don't want to eat any crow here tonight. Tonight, I have to be on my game. I can't come and talk Tabata. So you please share the video. You said something to the liberal is they might be eating crow here tonight. But no, I want to thank all of you, my brothers and sisters. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. We have a wonderful show here waiting, and we will be discussing everything all about Liberia tonight. Safety, Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again this evening. We want to thank you for joining this process, giving us the opportunity, my Lord. Because of you, we are here. Because of you, our eyes can see. Without the light that you shine, we are nothing. We want to thank you. We want to thank you, my Lord. We want to thank you again tonight. As we come on here, my Lord, we pray to you for our brothers and sisters, those that are in pain tonight. Please, my Lord, provide the safety net. Provide the comfort. You have the power. You can do it. We know you. My Lord, we believe in you. We trust in you. We come to you with no shame whatsoever. Believe that you will help us. Thank for the opportunity that you give us. We say because of you, we have two tables. There's table here in the last diaspora that we put food. We have table back in Liberia that we put food. My Lord, because of the opportunity you give us, we continue to do that. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My Lord, we put Liberia in your hand, and the people of Liberia will put them in your hand. My Lord, we ask that you continue to bless the President of the Republic of Liberia, President Bakai. Give him long life. Whatever he touches on whatever it is he touches in the interest of the Liberian people, that yes, indeed, it will be blessed. Whatever door he knocks in the interest of the Liberian people, that the door will be open. My Lord, extend his life. You know why he's here. He's here to help us. Help him, help us. We ask that you bless the host country, the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, folks, that's what we do. That's how we do it here tonight. So tonight, we are here to have a conversation with our own brother, a young man, very intelligent. And I have to be very careful here tonight, or else somebody might clean my clock. So I will be very careful. But on a very serious note, we have with us tonight Mr. Dwalo, who will try to enlighten us about many, many things here tonight. Let me bring in Mr. Dwalo, who is in the backstage here. Let me bring in Mr. Dwalo. Mr. Dwalo, we're going to bring you on. If you're ready, just throw your thumb. Okay, here we go. Okay. Dwalo, good evening.
How
Thank you
you
for
doing,
joining
Mr.
us.
So? Mr. So, how you doing? It's
Thank
a
you.
pleasure to be on.
Thank you.
Thanks for the invitation.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us here tonight. We appreciate you here as usual. We are here on Liberian Public Radio to make sure you help us educate, enlighten, in whatever word you want to use, to our audience and whatever it is that you're doing that perhaps we need to talk about. First of all, well, again, we'll say thank you for gracing Liberian Public Radio. Could you just briefly introduce yourself for those who still yet to understand that you who you are and what you do?
Okay, to the audience, as always, we got to recognize you guys. Thanks for taking your precious time to come and spend some time with us, especially to our people back home. You're welcome plenty. I'm a son of Liberia. In our tradition, I will introduce in the man of my father. My father is Goda Petaman Hills from Rua Moserado, about a hills from Riverside County. I was born right in JFK, Monrovia. And I'm passionate about Liberia. There's not much we can say. I like to introduce myself in this fashion and this is continuing to eat me up. If we allow our generation to pass and we don't drastically change Liberia, there is a small chance that our country will change over the next 100 years. So we have to put literally everything on the line to change this country. And that's how I like to introduce myself. Liberia has to change with our action.
Thank you. Thank you, Eduardo. We appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much. We're here tonight to discuss your project. I call it your project because you've been talking about it for a very long time and you have been going out. And we also went and did some total, I call it total research.
Necessary.
So we have some nifty. I didn't know that you have, I know you can talk. But I didn't know, I know you're very smart, intelligent, but I didn't know that when you say I will do it, you do it. And all of the documentation here that I've gone through is showing itself that, yes, indeed, you are capable and doing the best you can.
Yes,
and it's all in the interest, because from all the indication here, from all the document that I have, it's showing that it's all about Liberia.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what is this? What is this project? Before I go on to read anything about it, what is this project that you
okay?
Back on?
So, Mr. Solican, you don't even know what this means by bringing me on this platform, and having a lot of people listening to me tonight. The question that you have asked, and I want to take my own time to answer this question because it's very important. What is this project? This is a project that has 4 simple goals. Over the last 175 years, 177 years now, we have come to this country, since 1822. Some of you may not know this. We've been coming to this country, but my focus is on the last 40 years. We've come and we've gone to Liberia with our casket when we get old. We send a little bit of money home to help family members. But Liberia has not made any turnaround. The other countries have capitalized on this idea. The Ethiopians, the Ghanaians, the Middle Eastern country, even China itself, the diaspora citizen transformed our country. So this project is very simple. It's to build a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Some people may squinch a little bit and say, do I have money to be? Relax. Our intent is to raise $25 million in the diaspora. This is a pool fund. We are going to raise the money over a 1 to 2 year period. We intending to do it over 1 year if the money can be raised. The money right now is being raised. The money goes into a trust, into an account. The money will not be touched until the money is raised. The intent is to do 4 things. In the diaspora, we have over $20 billion cap, and this money is not transforming Liberia. This bothers my soul so heavily. I believe we can do something in the diaspora to transform the country. Initially, the intent of the money primarily is to make our shareholders money. People that will own ownership of the corporation. I want we Liberian in the diaspora to build a corporation that we own. 1, it will do 4 things. And I want you to go on the website, the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund.com, www.liberiandiasporaequityfund.com. We have our mission there, we have our vision, and we have perspective. We have a question and answer page. Check it out. Bring some questions. If we missed something, we will go back and fix it. One, make our shareholders money. Number two, create massive amount of jobs across the country so we can effectuate some economic change in the country. That's the second objective of this dream. Number three, for the Liberian diaspora to have massive influence in the country so we can decide the direction of our country. Number four is to bring back Liberian expertise to Liberia. You have to understand this. Every country that has developed the diaspora citizens, the skills they've learned, the engineers, the philosophers, the financial experts, the doctors, the lawyers, they came back to that country to formulate new strategies so that country can develop. So those are the four pillars of the corporation. First, we raised the $20 million, $25 million. We set up a board of governance, a board of directors. We set up the court of officers. We come up with a project in Liberia. We begin with one project. Over time, we intend to have maybe 30, 40 different businesses within the portfolio of the corporation. But initially, we will start with one project. The shareholders will vote on that project. If it is rice mechanization, we're going to pursue rice mechanization. If it is large-scale fishing farming, we're going to pursue. But our intent is to begin the industrialization of our country, whether it's small-scale manufacturing. Gradually, we can build something in the country that we control. Roberta, so for a long time, we are like literally plebeians in our own country, bottom feeders in our own country, and I refuse to accept this going forward. We have to do something, and I believe the only way this can be done is to pull our resources, find Liberia best and brightest minds. We can go to the country and we can build something that will change the direction of the country. I want us to control imports. I want us to control exports. I want us to control every single industry in the country, and I want us to build something that we can touch, feel, and smell in the country. But most importantly, I want us to change the economic lot of our brothers and sisters all the way up in Saniquity, in Zwedru, in Buchanan, in Barclayville, in Lexington, in Hopper. It must be changed. We cannot continue to say close to between 600 million and $1 billion home every single year, and we are doing nothing in the country. The money is not being felt. We have to organize the money and channel it properly in Liberia. This is the intention of the corporation.
Thank you, Eduardo. We appreciate it. I will now go ahead and just read a few of the documents that I was able to pull from your website, folks. This is the website URL. If you copy this and put in the URL, you will be able to see the website he's talking about. And Eduardo, let me just read this here from your mission statement: to mobilize and channel the financial resources, expertise, and entrepreneurial capabilities of Liberian diaspora into transformative investment that build partnership, stimulate economic growth, create jobs, and foster sustainable development in Liberia. Then you go on to say, creating a future together with shared resources. You said the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund was created to provide a unique opportunity for the Liberian diaspora community to contribute to the economic growth of Liberia. Our mission is to connect individuals with the global Liberian community with investment opportunity that promote sustainable development, creates jobs, and uplift local businesses. By raising funds through share insurance, we aim to create a platform that empower diaspora members to invest in the future of their homeland while fostering long-term prosperity. We believe in the power of community-driven investment and the potential of Liberia talent and resources together. We can build a strong, more resilient Liberia for generations to come. Mr. Dualo, that's an excellent point, and I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you for that. I have a few questions here, though. What really get you to? I know you believe in yourself and you believe in Liberians, but what really brought you to this point, sir?
Mr. Toll, the question is profound. And this is a serious question. I was driving from Zwedru. I was coming back towards Nima County. That's something I do. Call me crazy. When I go to Liberia, I love to go see my people in the interior. I would drive into River says I would drive into Zweidru, I will go into Lofa, and I will go to these places, and I want to see my people. And brother, so you know this as much as I do, and much as every Liberian listening here, our people are stuck in the 1800s. I came back to Liberia. I came back to America. I was running an operation in Liberia for about 10 years. I was running my business in Liberia. I took the largest pull apart business. I took some trucks. I had 27 employees. We were doing business in the country. And I thought about myself, Mr. Soul, and I believe this to my core. If I did not come to America, I may be stuck on one of those highways, setting a person trap. And then I look at my people and I realize that we in the diaspora, we have a duty that is far greater than ourselves. Look, God bless you and said to come to America, not just sit and enjoy ourselves. We have a duty of a higher calling to look back to the country. So when I came for maybe 2 or 3 years, this really bothered me that we have not done anything in the country substantially. I'm not talking about you sending money to your sister, to your brother, or to your children that were back home, or to your father and mother. That's not what I'm talking. This is your responsibility. I'm talking collectively. We have not channeled our resources. There is this self-fulfilling prophecy, is what most of us believe, that Liberia is the lost cause. That Liberia play there, anything you do there, it can't work. And we have resigned to this truth, this false equivalency that we have created, that Liberia will not survive. And then I came, I said, but then we got to do something. Now, I don't have any guarantees that this is going to succeed, but this is what I know, that if we champion this cause collectively and we are calculative about what we intend to do in Liberia, this has no option but to succeed. We have to do something, Mr. So our country is dying. The Ghanaians that came to our country, look, I'm a late 70 born. I was born in 1977. And I still remember this. The Ghanaians used to come to my country to look for the daily bread. The Guineans came to my country. The Malayans, I still remember as a boy, you would see the tall Malayans would come. They will walk through Buchanan, they will walk through Morovia, and they will go back. Our country was a haven. Now we run to the Ghanaians for medical treatment. This bothers my spirit. We are running to the Nigerians, even to Sierra Leone. This is our place we go now. When our country continues to falter, but here in the West, we are making a minimum over $20 billion every single year. The average Liberian in this country, in Australia, in Europe, makes around $45,000 a year minimally. If just half of those people work, that's over $20 billion. The Liberian entire economy is less than $4 billion. We can raise $25 million to start some form of industry in the country that can create jobs in Zweidru, that can create jobs in Foya and Vanjima. We can start large-scale manufacturing, and this is the vision of the corporation. We have to start from somewhere. And people call me, oh, Dwalo Latina, it's not going to be perfect in the beginning. And I don't stand in this. If we make a mistake down the road, we're going to fix those mistakes. But we cannot continue to talk and we do nothing to transform manga. It's unacceptable, Mr. Toll. Our education is in vain if we do nothing to lift the country. We have to do something. And this is where this stems from.
Thank you. Thank you. If you don't mind, we have gone on your page and downloaded some documents. If you don't mind, if I can read those, okay. It's going to get your permission. So from the Department of Treasury, United States Department of Treasury, Internal Revenue, it said we assign you an employer identification number. Thank you for applying for an employer identification number. They give the number out there. We assign that. So you have already, the company is already registered with the IRS.
Correct.
And you have that. You also went and register with uh, you register with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Corporation. So you have already have a article of incorporation,
Yep.
incorporated Liberia Diaspora Fund Incorporated.
Correct.
In this article, you have identified a few items that I want you to help me to understand here, please, if you don't mind. You said to acquire through engagement after the in the article 2 now, to acquire through engagement in vision business activity through uh, the issuing of stock and otherwise fund to be used for the investment. This is the white people country paper you writing on.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me count that. For investment in and the benefit of Liberia and its people.
Yeah. So the
You
Alico
did not. You
Corporation,
did
we have
not.
to go
You
to yeah.
Yeah. You did not say to benefit Liberian diaspora here in the United States.
No.
You guys were specific. I want you to give me the reason why you were, because of course it doesn't tie you down, but this is paper that in these white people document now. Specifically, you're saying that to benefit the benefit of the country of Liberia and its people. So can you tell me more about that, sir? Eduardo, are you with me? Okay. Well, we're talking money. Eduardo internet is being harmonized, and he's in Liberia. No, he's just here, but maybe the water over there. But anyhow, it's a very interesting document, folks. If I'm still audible, let me see if we can bring Eduardo back. If I'm still audible, once he joins us, we'll bring him back. If I'm still audible, one of the interesting things as I was going through preparing for this show this afternoon, some of the things that I was going through was to read. And he and I were going to have to, Maorisha, good evening. Oh, thank you for joining us. He and I are going to go through this process here tonight. Let me go. Let me bring it. Eduardo, thank
Yes,
you. I'm
yeah.
sorry. I know
Yeah.
you. The previous government come after you and they harmonize your internet.
It'll be
No, I'm
okay.
just kidding.
So
But
yeah,
go ahead.
let's get
Go
back
ahead.
to where you were asking
Yes,
again.
please, go ahead.
So what we did was, because this is money business, and I wanted this to be a legitimate corporation. So I went to a lawyer, and I decided to fund everything from the beginning. I went to the consultants, went to all the firms that I could go to, and I said, listen, this is what I'm intending to do. We are putting our resources. I want to reach out to my people here in the diaspora. My people back home are in dire straits. I hope the audience can hear me. Okay, thank you so much, Prince Johnson. And the lawyer said, well, we can put something together. And then when you register a corporation here in America, there are other organizations that you have to reach out to. I got their forms here. And then you got to file with them as well. So this is a registered incorporated business here in America. Call it an investment group, basically, so to speak, is to pull our resources. And then ought to always say now be around one big internet table. If we decide to start rest production, we agree, we vote on that issue to start rest mechanization in the country. So the goal here is to make sure everything is legally done. Now, if there's something that is missing, we will go back and we will fix it. But we have to do everything we can to effectuate some change in the country. And that's why the article incorporation is there. I have the letter from the state of Massachusetts. I think it was on my page as well. I don't know if you saw that from the Secretary of State. So
Yes,
we're doing
yeah, we
everything.
have that.
Yes. So that's where we are right now.
Okay. So let me go on some more document. This article of incorporation, you guys wrote a lot in here.
Yeah.
Uh, some of
The
we did.
lawyer.
Yeah. And I'm not a lawyer. I'm an engineer. I'm not a
Yeah.
lawyer. So but some very interesting language
Yeah.
that in this. Of course, you have to be a lawyer.
Mhm.
But I don't want to go. I want people to go onto this website. Let me
Yes,
put the site
please.
up again.
Yeah.
Let me put a site up again. I want people to go onto this website and see if you can do your own
Yes.
research.
Yeah.
It's better, folks. Those of you that are listening, it's better. Don't just take it from me, or don't just take it. Go into this website, and you will see everything that I'm talking about. I got. Look, I went in there. I copy a lot.
And if
Okay,
you don't want to go to the website, go to the Secretary of State for the state of Massachusetts, and
right.
you type in the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. These documents will come up.
Okay,
So if you don't trust our website, go to the state of Massachusetts Secretary of State website.
right, right. So there are this part that I want to read here.
Yeah.
You guys have director of directors. You are the CEO,
Yep.
and Honorable Afe Vatukpa is the uh,
CFO.
um, okay CFO. Yeah, Dualo. So you register, and you are the president. You are the treasurer, and Honorable Vatukpa is junior is the secretary, and you also CEO and as a CFO, and then you guys have Madam Sharif, who is
Yeah.
also a director and
Yeah.
vice president.
Yeah.
Now you have allotted In this, you have 275,000 share.
That's what we
That I
issue total. Yeah.
say. Okay,
So,
and and
okay.
you also have for share now.
Hmm.
I just this is two. Let me go to three. For share, you have um I believe it's $90 a share, and
Correct.
$10 for processing fee.
It's important I explain that.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So the share price was determined because we believe $90 is a good number. We didn't want to make the share price 500, 300, 200. We said no. Let's try because I want people to understand this, though, Mr. So. Here in America, to raise $1, it will cost you anywhere from 10 cents to 90 cents to raise $1. Don't take my word for it. Google this thing, look it up. And we did not have money right now to really raise this money, Mr. So, to raise the $25 million. In the perfect world, we need at least half. We need around $12.5 million to be able to raise the $25 million. But we don't have that kind of money. If we can get $2 million, then we'll be happy said to use that money to raise the money. So because we don't have money, Mr. Soul, we decided to charge a $10 fee. Now, the share price is $90. It's going to cost you a total of $100 to buy a share. This is how the $10 is going to be used. When you buy a share, we have to print your share. We have to buy ink. We have to buy a printer. We have to buy certificates. We have to buy postage. We have all the stuff. That's what we use the $10 for, to keep the lights on, to make sure. But right now, we are paying nobody. So this computer I'm using right now, I sit on this computer and I literally do everything. So we have sent out close to 70 shares, 70 different certificates already. It's going around the globe that we have said within the first 2 weeks. When it in lunch, like I said, almost $80,000 came in. Right now, if you went to the website, we just updated today. I want people to go there. I'm not going to tell you how much we've updated. I want you to go on the website, visit the website, and see what we updated today. And we are using the $10. This is something we have to report to the state of Massachusetts. We have to report to the federal government. This is not money I can yet go use any way I feel. We're using it for postage. We're using it for ink. We're using it for printer. We are using it for stamping. We are using it for everything that will make sure the operation continues to run until hopefully we can raise enough money. What we intend to do overall, Mr. So, going forward, as the money grows, we'll come to your city, Mr. So. We'll go to every city where we have sufficient librarians. We'll have a bunch of town hall meeting. Our first town hall meeting now is scheduled for the 31st of May. Anybody can go to Eventbrite right now and purchase your seat. You reserve your seat. Food is included. We will come there. We will speak to you in person to push this forward. And Mr. So, I'll actually send the poster to you. I don't know if you saw it on my page from Eventbrite.
Yes.
So we'll go to every city here in America and in Europe and hopefully in Australia as well to bring the message that our country is dying. We have to do something to change the direction of the country.
Okay. We will get back. We will get into the nitty gritty of Liberia and what have you. But I just want you to go through with me here.
Yeah.
For those who I don't even get my GED yet. But those who can read and understand, those who have their own company and want to understand how you do these things and what have you, and want to join you, I want us to go through this process. So let's talk about the risk management process that you guys put together.
Correct.
Now, in my profession, if you do a project, you assign risk to each one of the other entity, the function,
Same
other
thing.
functional unit.
Same
For
thing.
example, if you have an environmental issue and there's a risk, who that risk belong to, and you go through all of those processes so that if something happens, you can assign those and go to the same. We talk about the risk and we said you're going to do it. What happened here? So let me go through a few things here. Very interesting. Very interesting. It looked like you guys, well, of course, you're from Liberia, so you know how to do your homework, so no big deal. But anyhow, you say here, general risk consideration, post funding fundraising. The Liberian Diaspora Fund Equity Fund will prioritize direct investment into Liberia, a nation that presents significant challenges due to limited governmental support and protection. These realities necessitate a robust and proactive risk management framework that mitigate risk to ensure sustainable investment and safeguard investor confidence. And I think that for me, that just demonstrate that you are not there to just collect money, but that you have put in place some sort of a safeguard for those who are going to invest into this process. It is your idea,
Mhm.
and you have to be believable and you have to be trustworthy. And I
Correct.
think this is something, when you do these kinds of stuff, you generate a lot of trust. So, and then if one, so let talk to me about that. I don't want to go down
Excellent.
the list, but
Yes.
talk to me about this.
Great segue into this. Okay. I've done business in Liberia, so I experienced some of those risks. So I'm not just talking blindly. I already know what I'm going to expect. There is a difference in knowing Liberia is risky, and there's a difference in experiencing the risk in Liberia of doing business in Liberia. So there's a big contrast there. Now, the risk assessment page giving you a broader view of how we are going to mitigate this risk. When we raise the money, before we do the first investment, there will be particular risk assigned to each project and how we're going to mitigate those risks. So we're going to come at you again with a new risk assessment on each individual project that we decide to invest in. So the risk assessment that you're reading over there is a broader approach of how we are going to approach risk in Liberia. Now, there will be a more detailed approach. Like, for instance, we assume to put a garment factory in Zwedru. How we're going to approach Zwedru on the risk will be defined before that money is invested there. Not just defined, but how we're going to counter those risks as the implementation is unfolding. So if you read the risk assessment page, we consider that very heavily.
Thank you. So the risk, folks, go to the website and do your own research. Read these risks, how they intend to mitigate some of these risks that they think will come to play. Now, it's not necessary that they will be there, but they are prepared. From reading everything here, I think they are prepared, and I want to say that here. So I think I would just leave the risk business alone, because you have done a real magnified strategic. It's all over the place, and you're all over. We appreciate that. Let's go on to something else. We will get into other issue that will most likely bring a lot of audience, because once you start talking politics, then they're ready to come on. But let's go into this thing here a little bit. So this is another one here, which now it says here, jurisdictional legend.
Yeah.
Well, okay, this is where you're saying here. Now, I'm going to come back to you.
Mhm.
The comment, the one that I read earlier, where you said you would do work, and specifically you're saying Liberia and Liberian people. But here now, jurisdictional legend. You said your organization will comply with U.S. Financial regulations and file all necessary documentation in the United States. In the United States, investment made in Liberia will also adhere to local regulatory framework. The corporation will be headquartered in Massachusetts. We plan to establish a second headquarters in Liberia to support its operation and foster stronger local engagement. Talk to me on that one a little bit.
Okay, so one of the reasons why a lot of Liberians organizations tend to fail is the issue of trust. Even though our sole investment location is Liberia, I want to always maintain an American enclave, because this is the only way. I want all the filings to be done. One of the biggest things I fear, Mr. So, is this: oh, Opa, our money, or oh, and what the other team went. I want everything to be done here in America, all the filings. So even though we'll be investing in Liberia, I want to put it on saying this is an American corporation, registered and will be regulated here in America. So it doesn't matter where I take the money, I have to still account to the state of Massachusetts, and I have to account to the federal government. So even though my intent is to invest in Liberia, I want to maintain the credibility of the corporation. So we will file everything here in America. However, because we will be doing business in Liberia, we will also do our due diligence to meet the guidelines that is set by Liberian law. So there will be two filings, one here in America, and where we do business in Liberia, we will equally file in Liberia as well to make sure we meet local guidelines. And the intent is to provide every single transparency for everybody to understand. Remember, there will be a board of directors that's oversee this in the quarter offices.
Yes.
And we will be domiciled in Liberia. I would not be in America. I would be living in Liberia to run the operation.
I see. So let's go on term of offering. You said this, when I say you, I mean the corporation.
Yeah.
You said investment period. The initial investment period spanned 5 years, beginning from the date of the first approved investment by shareholder vote.
Yeah.
The fundraising phase, 1 to 2 years, is excluded from this time frame.
Correct.
Ownership structure. Investors receive equity in the firm of share with return linked to the profitability of investment. Share prices will reflect the success of the venture supported. You want to talk a little bit on that one? Then we'll
Thank you
move on.
very much.
But before you do that, let me warn the audience, the folks. The reason we will come to question Dwalo, I'm coming to let Dwalo come here and just run up. No,
you're on there. Anything you want.
They will question your man. Don't worry. But I want
question.
people to understand and let him explain as I go through, because these are things, documentation that make this corporation, from my belief, and make the corporation for people to have belief in it. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying.
Anybody who buys shares, by the way, your certificate, when I mail your certificate to you, all that document is in the package as well. You will have the contract agreement and you will have the prospectus in the document that is mailed to you. So you will also have everything that is printed out there. That's how we're using the $10 also. We print those forms, we package them, and we send them to you. So you will also have those copies. Now, when we are raising the money, Dwalu does not touch the money when it's being raised. The money sits in an account. There's a reason for that. The reason we don't want to touch the money, because I want the board of directors and I want the quarter officers to be chosen live on the website by the shareholders. I don't want to say, oh, but Dwalu, like, you don't want to see that. All the people know. What we will do, once the money gets to a certain level, we will put a bid out. We say, listen, we are looking for 7 men and women to serve as the board of director. I'm just picking the number 7 randomly, guys. It could be 9, it could be 7. And our goal, these are the criteria for them to become the board of director. They will really be managing the money to make sure how we spend the money. We, the quarter officers, we will actually be out there implementing the projects on the ground. From the date of first investment after shareholder approval, Dwalu is not going to just take your money and put it anywhere. You will agree. We will run our profitability analysis. We will give you all the models. We say, listen, if we invest in cassava production, where we open a flour mill in Buchanan, for example, this is our profit margin. These are the risks. This is how long it's going to take. The shareholders will vote. Let's assume we took $10 million, we invest into rice production, and we buy land in Nima, Bon, and Lofa. Hypothetical, guys. Hypothetical. Let's say we bought 5,000 acres. No land that will be bought in the name of an individual. It will be bought in the name of the corporation. I want you to understand, the corporation is a living, breathing human being. It functions like a human being. It can sue you. You can sue the corporation. Everything we do will be in the name of the corporation. So if we decide to invest in rice production in Liberia, and we come to the shareholder, we say, listen, based on the model we came away, we can take $10 million of this money and invest in rice production. This is how we are going to do it. We will post it to the site. Y'all will take a look at it. Y'all say, okay, based on everything we see, it look good. Let's vote. You gotta put the money toward rice production. And then we implement. Let's assume we put $10 million into rice production. I want you to understand a certain number. In Liberia right now, we are importing close to $200 million worth of food into the country. Majority of that is rice. Let's assume, for the sake of conversation, we are importing $150 million worth of rice into Liberia every single year. If we invest $10 million into rice production, let's say in year 1, we capture just 10% of the Liberian rice market. That's approximately $15 million. That means a recalculation of the share price is going to be done. The share price now that you buy at $90, maybe now with our little profit we've made, now the new share price is, let's assume it's $150 in year 1. Now, but you cannot cash out your share until 5 years after the first investment, because investment takes time to grow. You can't give me $100 today. You say, "Do I want my profit?" I can't give you profit. You got to wait, let it grow. But every quarter, every month, we will update. You will see what we're doing. You can come to the rice farm. You will see if that chicken poultry we're investing, You can come and see this chicken poultry farm. In a pig farming, whatever we invest in, the shareholders will have to approve. And that's how it's going to work.
Thank you. I hope that you will find time to join me again,
Yeah.
so that we will go deeper into the language of the letter of incorporation,
Correct.
which have to do with the law part of it. I'm not a lawyer. I play one on
Correct.
TV, but I can do my best. But let me go on. Let me go on something here. Very interesting one. A very serious note. You
Yeah.
say here future compensation metrics.
Yes.
Compensation to executive
Mhm.
through share
Mhm.
will be determined by the pre-founding metrics that reflect the financial position
Correct.
and profitability
Mhm.
of the corporation,
Correct.
ensuring equitable and performance-based reward structure.
Correct.
The industry 2% and 20% venture capital free structure will be applied after money is raised. Can you
Mhm.
explain that to me, please?
Excellent. So the quota officers that will run the corporation, whether director or whoever, the top executives, they don't get paid if we don't make money. So in order to improve it, we don't work it. Let's assume we make $1, $100 rather. We make $100. $80 go to the investors. The $80 and $20 will go to the quota officers based on the commission level. Now, I want to make this very, very clear. This is not Dwalu Power Farm. Mr. Soul can be the CEO of the Liberian Diaspora Corporation tomorrow. Anybody can become an officer with the Liberian Diaspora Corporation. I can be there today, and the shareholders can decide, listen, Mr. Dwalu is not producing. You vote him out, and somebody else come to become the CEO, they become the CFO of the corporation. So to encourage output of the corporation, like any other corporation you see here in America, is a commission-based kind of payment. The more money we make the corporation, the more money the quota officers make. So if you make the corporation $100 in profit, you get $20 that is distributed among all the quota officers, and the $80 go towards the shareholders. That's how we intend. That's the 80-20 model.
Okay. Thank you. Again, folks, Samson Toll, the Libra, is here this evening with Dwalo, who is Asan Dwalo, who is here to give us some information about his corporation that is intended to help Liberia. One more question,
Yes, sir.
Dwalo, and then we will move on to um, the issue of Liberia and what do we do.
Yeah.
It says here from your website, some of the newsletter, it says here government and the private sector have traditionally viewed the Liberian, the diaspora as both ongoing provider of financial capital at the macro level and as consumer. While recognition of the diaspora role in doing development has grown, and the diaspora are increasingly seen as important development stakeholder, they are still not viewed as significant social investor by governments, the private sector, or indeed the diaspora themselves. This represents its missed opportunity for harnessing and seeking to scale up diaspora investment for social economic growth, especially given the gap finance available to develop the Sustainable Development Goal GDS. Uh, can you enlighten that a little bit?
Thank you, Mr.
Talk
So. I
about
want
it
to say
earlier.
this. When President Bouaka was running for the president, and I went to Providence to meet there with the president, and one thing he promised was to develop the private sector in Liberia. And if you guys are listening, I wrote a paper many years back. It's called Why Diaspora Liberians Matter. If you Google it, you will see the paper. It's called Why Diaspora Liberians Matter. And I detail why we matter. But over the last 50 years, we wouldn't matter to the extent, Brother Soul, of what we can send home, $1, $2, $3 to family members. And this is a poor way to look at the diaspora. Whether you know this or not, we are the richest Liberians alive. Richest in terms of our capitalization. When you look at it compared to Liberia, let me repeat this number. Minimally, we take home $20 billion a year. Minimally. That's what Liberians in abroad. Australia, Europe, America, and other parts of Africa. Minimum, we take home $20 billion every single year. We are far richer. The entire economy of Liberia is less than $4 billion. $4 billion. And we are taking home over $20 billion a year. So what we intend to do is to flip this on the head, where we capitalize on our might in the diaspora. Remember, the Liberian Diaspora Corporation have 4 objectives. Very simple objective. Number 1, make our shareholders money. Primarily, this is our goal. Number 2, create massive amount of jobs across the country, to do investments, to do skilling up little investment, to do upping investment local businesses, to do starting new businesses across the country. We want to start a new fishing industry. We want to start a new small scale manufacturing across the country. We want rest mechanization. We want to import food from Liberia, cassava leaf, potato green, kitty, and package them properly, build a factory somewhere in Monrovia to export them to the West. The goal is to scale up that. Number 3, our third objective is to have economic influence in the country. 4th is to get Liberian expertise back to the country. If we can do these 4 things through the cooperation, we can have the kind of influence in the country. We can decide the direction of our society. Remember, our singular objective is to reorient the mind of the Liberian in thinking that we too can make this possible. The Ghanaians have done it. The Nigerians are expanding this. The Ethiopians are developing massively with this. We can do similarly if we pull our resources, if we organize better, with one intention to go to the country and develop industry in Liberia. I want to say this, Brother, so before I give it to you. My people, this would not be perfect from the beginning. No corporation was begun with perfection. If we miss something down the line, we will go back and fix it. Our intent is not to be nefarious in any faction. Our goal is to build something together collectively. So if you see something, don't make noise, call Dwalu. Dwalu, but you missed the one. We will sit down and we will fix it. But we should not lose the focus of not investing in Liberia. We have to do this because time is not in our favor. Our country is the least, and we just continue to talk. Something has to get done.
Thank you, Eduardo. Again, folks, Samson Toll, Liberal Public Radio. The Liberal is here this evening being educated, enlightened by Eduardo. As young as he is, but he's very smart and capable of enlightening us as well. We appreciate that. So, Dwalo, like I stated from the beginning, I went through all of these papers here so that to give you an opportunity for my audience and any other person that want to listen, to give an opportunity to explain to the book people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the paper you put together, you went to Massachusetts, you put something there, you talk to American government, the IRA, that people can't play around in the player. Even Donald Trump says get on there.
Yeah.
You went there, you put your paper there.
Yeah.
In your paper, you put Liberia people need there.
Yeah.
And so that's small thing here.
Yeah.
But let me go back to this thing here now. Now that we have established all of that, let's talk a little bit.
Yeah.
With some sort of context in terms of Liberia and Liberians' culture.
Mm-hmm.
Second, the first thing I want to ask on this here, Eduardo, is as young, of course, you're very young, but do you think you are at an age of having this type of corporation to be established and knowing full well the type of heavy work you have to do?
Mm-hmm.
Are you quite out of age to be able to pursue this wonderful dream that you have to make?
Mr. So, I understand the question. You know, every time you begin your show, you pray to God. I made the baby done fight for 2 years about this. We done fight. I went to my father. My father is still alive. And I went behind Congotan Bar Road before I came back. I went to my mother's grave. She's buried right there. And I made this pledge. I will dedicate my life to this. That's what I'm going to say to that. This has to work. Look, Mr. So, if we leave this planet and we leave Liberia like this, I'm going to say this. Some people will get mad at me, but I will say this. You know, I'm not afraid to fail. I will say this. This generation, my generation, most people above the age of 40, we are the most educated Liberia that Liberia has ever produced. But we at least contributed to the growth of Liberia. Let me repeat it this way. No Liberian over the 177 years of our country's existence have been more educated in this volume, in this quantity, with the quality of the university that we went to, that you can compare us to any generation that came before or any good generation that's living now. My question to us is, how are we going to leave Liberia before we get old? This bothers the living hell out of me. I want you to think about our brothers back home in Liberia. Some of us, if we did not come to America, will become wheelbarrow boys. We'll become pimping drivers. Our spine will be other alarming because the motorcycle car keep pounding our spine. Maybe some of us will making cool in the interior. We've been given this golden opportunity to come to this great country and effectuate some change in Liberia, but we have failed massively. I'm included massively. Mr. Soul, that question you ask is very poignant, but I will say this to you. This has to get done. I'm not a child. I'm a grown man about to hit 50 years. I'm 48 years old. What are we going to leave to Liberia? So if we do everything, I believe in a span of 15 to 20 years, hopefully God is so kind to keep me alive at that time, we can build a corporation, a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Look, our young children, me and my kids love to go to Liberia, and I would drive them to the interior. I think I'm going to take them home for their vacation coming up. They got an April vacation. I might run to Liberia very quickly. I'll take the kids to Liberia. They love Liberia. And my son was saying, oh, Daddy, if I come back to Liberia, I decide to stay here. And I think the best profession would be, it will become a spine doctor. And I was like, oh, and so why are you saying that? He said, Daddy, look at everybody. They order a motorcycle, they go in there. There will come a time in Liberia where there'll be a lot of spine problems. We got a great country. Our younger kids here are going to great universities. How can we bring them back? My dream is to reach out to Samson Soul Jr. and say, Piggy, you got a master's degree in accounting. The Liberian Diaspora Corporation division out of Monrovia, the accounting division, come and help us train younger Liberians. This is the vision. So this has to get done. Even if we fail, I have to do this. But Mr. So this cannot. Liberia is so green. So green. If we become truly transparent with our people, and we begin to build something that provide 2,000 jobs in Swedru, 3,000 jobs in Barclayville, 4,000 jobs in Greenville or Lexington. You come to Buchanan, you get 4,000 jobs. We have our tentacles stretch out all across Liberia. We build a massive headquarters. One of my vision, and people can laugh when I say this, we will build the first skyscraper in Liberia, be the Liberian Diaspora headquarters. This is possible. Look, let me give you a simple example. I ran a number. It's a very simple number that I ran. And I was doing some calculation on cassava consolidation. I've spoken about it. People heard it. If you went into Grange, that you went into bombing and Nima, we built a way. I divided the country into 5 economic zones. I wrote a paper called Restart Liberia and Build a New Foundation. Google the paper, check it out. I divided the country into 5 economic zones. And each zone will be your own enclave. In the southeastern portion of Liberia, we got over 8 million coconut trees that are just wild coconut trees that are sitting there. And we can be making coconut oil for export into the country. Let's say in the southeastern portion of Liberia, we put a small factory there that is producing coconut oil, but we are using the coconut husk to make coal. They make the coal that you will find at Walmart. It's processed with certain chemical. To start a whole operation will be $2 million, but it can produce almost 5,000 direct jobs. Now, the secondary jobs in that location. Now, as we build these operations across the country, with these 5 economic zones, with Monrovia being the hub, we can start having, oh, brother, so you got a background in engineering. The Liberian Diaspora Corporation is trying to build a road construction division under the portfolio of the corporation. Can you come and help us develop something? Mr. Dwalo, I'm getting old, brother, so we know you got all the time, but the younger people need some guidance. Can you come here and supervise some of them? We built a Liberian construction division. Now the Chinese cannot take our money out of the country. We create local Liberian millionaires in Zwedru. He or she is forced to develop Zwedru. So I want you to see the bigger strategy page where I want us to take control, not through pushing anybody else, but through competition. This is our heritage. This is our country. We have to become the millionaires in Liberia. If we don't become the millionaire in Robertsport doesn't develop. So the vision of the corporation is to create local Liberian millionaires distributed across the country through enterprise. And through that enterprise, we can develop something in Monrovia, and then we build a corporation that controls the country. We decide the social and economic position of our country, us, not foreigners. We limit outside capital influence in Monrovia because we're generating our own capital locally. We control the exports and imports of our country. Why should somebody else who is not, you are not a soul, you're not a toll, you're not a Kali, you're not a Fofana, you're not a Dwalu, but you're importing chicken feet to my country? It doesn't make sense to me, Mr. Toll. This has to change, and the corporation intends to do that.
Thank you again, folks. That's Dualo, the CEO of the corporation, the Liberian Fund, I believe. What is the
I
Liberian?
call it LDEF, Liberia Diaspora
Okay,
Corporation,
Liberian
LDEF.
Diaspora Corporation. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you, thank you. So let's go on now. Let's take this a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Um, we're talking Liberia.
Mhm.
Many of the people that are in the government running, you know, most of them.
Yeah.
You are not stranger to Liberian behavior,
Nope.
especially the leadership, those
I'm
that are
one
in
of them.
position, those that are in position of authority. Dualo, how do you convince the Liberian diaspora
Mhm.
that every day you and the rest of the group on Spoon Network will talk about, oh, the person doing this? How
Mhm.
do you convince Liberian diaspora
Mhm.
that indeed you have the ability to go to Liberia and do these things that you're talking about?
Mhm.
Are you going to go there and play the same way these people are playing with kickbacks and taking money that don't belong to them? Or before they sign your paper, they want extra amount of money? Is that how this thing gonna be played for you to be successful? Or how do you intend to overcome those type of uh, irresponsible behavior in our country, Dualo?
Brother Soul, when we first launched, the senators and representatives, they're the only reason why I go into Liberia. I've documented almost 7 senators so far. I think it's the last time I checked, it was like 17 representatives. They all want to buy a share. Number one. And I want you to keep 3 things in mind. This was very well thought out. I didn't just put this together. This is an American corporation, even though it's being headed by Liberians. It's an American corporation. We are going into the country as an American. Lord, the stories will say this. In order to effectuate a change in a location that is chaotic, so to speak, you must play in the enclave of that chaos in order to change it. Let me quantify what I mean by play. There is nothing. If I went into Zwedru and I said, listen, Zwedru is rep for um let's say we start a canning business for fruits in Zwedru. And a representative comes and stands before Mr. Dwalu and say, listen, my man, you can put a canning business here in Zwedru and they'll give me small thing. I call Mr. To. I said, Mr. To, we got an issue here with XYZ Corporation, I mean, representative. We're trying to employ about 2,000 people out of Zwedru. And the man said, I'm an ample can. And you invite me to come on the show?
Hmm.
Okay. Our biggest thing is, let me tell you something that happens in Liberia. Most officials in Liberia, they're afraid of exposure heavily. But this is not government. This is a private operation. This is not Dualu's money. This is Mr. Soul's money. We live all the way in America. If you want me to give you Mr. Soul's money, I go public. The issue here is this is why we have reached out to them. The president said, listen, Mr. Dwalu, any door you want open, you will open those doors. But I don't depend on the president. I don't depend on anybody in Liberia. I depend on the American to enforce. Anybody staying my way, I go to the embassy, the academic division. This is an American corporation. Look, we cannot worry about whether people will continue in the same condition. All we do is to protect our enclave the way we know how to protect it, and we grow an entity. As we get bigger, we will have influence. Nobody gonna influence us because we are big enough to be able to withstand that. But in the beginning, we start with one business.
So
As we
let
grow,
let
we
me
add another
interrupt.
business. Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but let's go a little bit deeper into this.
Yeah.
The folks, and I do not have
Good
any
question.
kinds of evidence to say X, Y, and Z, but these are things that we read every day, and
Yeah.
these are things that people talk about every day. So, Dwalo, these people that are in position of authorities,
Yeah.
many of them we know them,
Yeah.
and we know their behavior.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm not here to
Correct.
analyze, social analyze, or whatever analysis do you do here with these people. That's not what I'm talking about. But they are in position of giving you hold on 1 minute, guys. My granddaughter, yeah, I can be stealing her juice.
Helpful.
She coming to make proud with me. I beg you. Let me call.
Yeah, I mean, most of the officials so far they've been welcoming Mr. Saul.
Yeah,
A
but
lot of them,
Dualo, please let me go on this here, please.
yeah,
So the folks that's supposed to assign project
mm-hmm,
to put out bid for project,
mm-hmm,
that you have to bid the project based on merit,
mm-hmm,
and these people have a tendency.
mm-hmm.
They have the will within them that they do every time. Somebody got to give me kickback.
Correct.
So how do you deal with that, Dwalo? I
I
mean,
don't, I don't, I
you
don't,
can't
I
just
don't.
come out and say, I'm going to American embassy.
No,
Somebody,
no, 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 Mr. Saul. We got a strategy for that,
okay,
and I want people to go to the strategy page. Let me just give you a little opener. Let me tell you one thing that Liberian fears, especially Liberian government officials. They fear the independence of an individual Liberian that cannot be controlled with their money. They fear you. They're scared of you very, very much. I ran business in the country, especially under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration. Some of the stories that I dealt with at the time, I had 27 employees. We know what we dealt with in the country. And one thing that people understand in Liberia, if you're doing something, because the way we are coming in, we are not coming to be in competition with you because they see you and I as a threat. Oh, Mr. Soul gonna come in Moria, he won't run in my district. Dwalo don't care about your district run. So they will not see you as a competition, number one. Number two, yes, there will be some blockages. Some people will say, well, you got to pay me for the contract to go through, or if you want to do this to get your license, this will happen through. Mr. Soul, we will navigate those fears. But here's the thing we're going to do that we should not do. If we stay away, we are not going to be able to go forward. The only way we can make sure that requesting bribe or that putting in place blockages is to make sure we come in and try to dissipate that. This is why most of the initial corporate incorporators and the people we hire will be people that have to be on a certain socioeconomic level. That they're not looking to government to make that transition into government or to say, oh, they may got to pay me. One thing we intend to do is to pay people a wage that is above the typical. So if you're living in America, like if the average person here in America make maybe $3,500 to $5,000 every single month, that's what the average person make. If you're making that money in Liberia, if you went to like from here, you get to Liberia, if you're making around that money, it's a decent way. So you're not looking to run to government because this position is in permanence. So we're gonna try to sell it. But if I want to tell you, say, I know all the answers to how we are going to navigate it, I don't know all the answers. But what I would tell you is, it has confronted me before, and I navigated it without having to bribe a single soul. And I did it for 10 years. So there are ways you can navigate it. And people will request to own share in your business that they've never started. People will request to say, my man, we'll not give you the document, or you can't file your taxes. We're not even going to process your tax document until you pay me X, Y, and Z. All of those is a form of doing business in Liberia. But we have to do things a little differently. And we will be more open. We will come to the public as frequently as we can, and Liberian men will not want to be exposed because this is not your typical government money. This is shareholders' money. This is not Dwalo's money. If you want me to give you the people's money, come, let's discuss it publicly. If we cannot win the contract because somebody don't want to, they say we should bribe them, we go public. We go public. And they don't have to like it. We don't have to win the contract. But most of what we intend to do is not through government. It's a private operation. So we will make it
I do agree with you. Private, yes, but you do also know that most of the business opportunities in Liberia is in the hands of the government.
I agree.
So in order for you to be successful, to be able to do something, you have to be with them.
Brother Tour, before you go, the Ghanaians went through the same thing. They went through the same thing. The Ghanaians were worse than we were. They still have corruption, but the small businesses came and navigated that and started building massive corporation. They start building the palm oil industry that they put in Liberian flag on, and we're buying the palm butter here. So they navigated those whatever best way they could. Initially, they are going to request those. There is no doubt in my mind. They are going to request those. But then that's where the strategies will come in. That's where the board of directors, that's where the quarter office of the city, how do we approach this? How do we approach this? Because we don't have $10 million loose money to just give to some representative or some senator or some minister. We don't have that kind of money. The money here is to develop a district or build a garment factory in, I don't know, up in Todi. Why should I give you that money?
Okay. So the money is you're raising fund.
Yeah.
Is the fundraising process only geared toward Liberian diaspora, or people in Liberia can also contribute?
Yes, people in Liberia, they've asked that question. Anybody can contribute, not just people in Liberia. Anybody can buy shares. So Fatima is on her way to Liberia. So what we decided to do is to have a bank account in Liberia where, let's say Mr. So going to Liberia, say, hey, Mr. So, can you take 20 certificates to Fatima, will pick it up from you and you deliver the people's certificate. Or if we start raising enough fees, maybe every 3 months, people can buy. They say, I want share. We package your certificate, and we'll come to Liberia, collect the money from you, and then we deposit it. So, yes, people in Liberia will be included. But my people in the beginning, we don't have that kind of money to be able to come to Liberia every now and then. So, we got to raise some fees to be able to do that. That's where we are right now.
So then the $50 million question, the elephant in the room. Again, knowing very well that many of our brothers and sisters back home are calling to international uh, community and international group. Some of them have sanction on them for stealing.
Sure.
How do you? Or it doesn't matter where the money come from. It's just money is money. Or
It's not when somebody wants to buy a share. We don't have the infrastructure to say where Mr. Soul get his money from. We got to scrutinize that money. No, we're not going to worry about that. However, that's why we capped the share purchase to 5,000 share per person. Mr. Soul cannot come and say, I want 30,000 shares. No, we can't sell it to you. The maximum share any one person can buy is 5,000 shares, because we don't want one person to control the amount of shares we bought. We try to think about everything that we could think about to make this as transparent as possible. So if a senator wants to buy 2,000 shares, we'll sell it to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is that something that perhaps, because the sanction group, there's a language in there where it states that if you do business with any person who was sanctioned, you also could be sanctioned. Is that
That's
something
correct.
you guys taking into consideration?
Yeah, but if somebody is sanctioned and they want to buy some share, this is something the board of directors and the court of office will make that decision as to whether to exclude them if that's considered doing business. This is where some of the decision making will come in. So maybe we say XYZ person cannot buy this amount of shares because he or she is sanctioned. That will be a decision that will be made down the road. So we don't want to focus on the kind of nitty gritty here because we're too small to do that. But obviously, we're not going to jeopardize ourselves at the same time.
So let's get back into the elephant in the room. You, Dwalo,
yep,
Honorable Asiba Tukba, and the madam herself.
Fatima.
You guys are not somebody that people can put king you past your.
No,
it's not happening.
I don't drink that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but the main thing here is this. I just try to put some fun in there. You guys are firebrand. You speak your mind.
Yeah.
And even on other platforms that you guys have visited or been on, people have accused you of not being able to have some sort of a redemptive spirit, so to speak. If somebody is guilty, you guilty, you guilty.
Yeah.
We don't have no time because we got to set the rule and we got to set. Now, you're in the spirit now. You're in the process of collecting, working with people who some people, I'm not saying they're going to be criminal, but that perhaps they are not able to do well in the community. How now do you transfer yourself from that firebrands? This thing have to work, and these are the reason, and your reasoning always people are wrong of doing X, Y, and Z. There's for other people they say the light of Dwala do not have any kinds of sense of the people being redeemed. He doesn't come across as seeing people to redeem themselves, to make their future up, or even if they have done wrong in the past, they come back to make it good and things like that. How do you deal with that kinds of conversation among Liberians about you and Mr. Honorable Toba as well?
Mr. Toll, I want to say this to you. Yeah, guys, thanks for correcting me. I spoke to Mr. Soul earlier, so I say Mr. Soul, but Mr. Toll.
For Toll, so
Mr. Toll, no worry. So let me say this. Here, I'm very forgiving. I'm a Christian, but I don't forgive somebody that continues to hurt his people. Here in America, where you live, if you steal from a post office job, you cannot work in a federal job anymore. It doesn't mean they're not redeeming you, but they're not going to let you keep hurting them. So people will always get in their feelings and say, yeah, the man stole, but the man won not steal, and we're supposed to accept this. Mr. So I'm a firm believer in this. Mr. Tom, every time a person steals more than $5,000 in Liberia, every $5,000 you steal, you actually kill a person. Let me repeat this. Every $5,000 you steal, you actually kill a person. So who should we be redeeming? The person that continues to steal multiple $5,000 and are killing pregnant women across the country, that we should be redeeming of them, or we should build a society where there is a degree of equitability that we all can live peacefully. Why should we just continue to forgive people that continue to hurt an entire country? This spirit has continued to doom this country. If a man wants to become a multi-millionaire, let he or she go to the private sector and develop something. I have no qualms about it. But if you're going to take all the medication for Grand Jita County and you go build your big mansion and you say, oh, but the man won't steal, let's forgive the man, it's a problem with me. It doesn't mean I don't forgive. But I believe people that kill my people should not be near the resources of those people. It's not forgiving them. It's not forgiving them, rather. It's making sure they don't repeat what they have done. There is a difference. I believe they should be locked up permanently, personally. And that view doesn't change for me.
Is there corporation, and this is my question now, is leading into Tabata now.
Yeah, Tabata.
Yeah. Is the corporation, would they accept former government officials, whether from Unity Party, CDC, but those who are known, well, not known, but those who perceived to be corrupt? Would they take money from it? And if so, will you make your shareholder list public?
No, I mean, anybody can publish their own stuff. I don't make shareholder. This is a private operation. It's private money. If you buy a share, you'll get a share certificate. You want to publish it, it's up to you, but we will not. This is not something we do. And number two, anybody who meet the requirements that will be set. Now, part of that requirement, integrity and honesty will be attached to it. Every single quota officer that will be recruited at the highest level will be recruited publicly on the website. Shareholders will vote on who comes in, who becomes the governor. So if the shareholders vote and they decide that a former corrupt official should occupy the given space, I have no powers against that. But based on the standard we said, he or she will not be qualified if they are known corrupt and convicted of that corruption. So our issue is not to police the society just yet. Our issue is to grow the corporation, to have some influence. And through our influence, we can set new standards and guidelines for our country. That is moral, that is just, and that lifts the entire society. That's what we intend to do.
Thank you. Again, folks, Samson told, I brought up the radio. Well, Walter Carter, to be specific, CDC member, saying you're going to come and question, ridiculous question. Let me throw you under the bus here this evening. No, seriously, Eduardo, thank you very much. It's a wonderful thing to have you on here and to have this conversation.
Pleasure.
Now, let me ask you, we will soon be opening the line. Do you mind if I open the line?
No, please. I love every time. Any question, I'll appreciate it.
Okay. So, but before we go through that, let me ask you this here then. This whole process here.
Yeah.
It said retirement fund, or is that somewhere I can put my money in and say that my retirement fund, I can keep building it, or it's a little bit different from that?
Well, whatever you want to call it, this is our goal. Our goal is for each person in the diaspora to buy a minimum of 10 shares. Minimum, that's $1,000. So $1,000 than your retirement. You need way more than that. So we want each person to buy. Some people buying 20 shares, some people buying 30 shares, some people buying 5 shares. But our goal is to get each man, woman, and child in the diaspora to buy a minimum of 10 shares. That's $1,000. Now, the 10 shares is not going to break or make you, so to speak. But it got you involved into something. And one thing we decided to do, every person who buys a share, once we're done raising the money, and we built the headquarters, we will engrave their name, their full name. It will say Samson B. Toll, 10 shares. It will be there for all of posterity. I want to engrave it here on a giant granite slab that you will see in Washington, D.C. of the fallen soldiers. So I want to engrave that in the park at the corporate headquarters for it to be there for all of posterity, so people can know that we did something here, that we built something here together. So I don't want you to think about this as merely you purchasing share. I want you to think about this as trying to lift your country through economics. And so your name can be there. So it will say, Entu Opa Dwalu, 10 shares. Okay, so maybe on the head of that granite slab, we'll say, these were the Liberians that decided to do something about the direction of Liberia through economics, through industry, something to that effect. And we will list their names for all of posterity. So it's not so much retirement money, but you don't know. I want you to think about Amazon or Facebook, for example. When they first began, you could buy the share for less than $100 or maybe $200. Go look at what one share costs today. Thousands of dollars. So if we built a corporation, maybe the 10 share you bought, maybe one share now is worth $3,000. Now your $1,000, that 10 share, now you got $30,000. So it could be something, but I'm not saying it's what it's going to be. So as a corporation grow, your share price grow along with it. So I will go 10 share, 20 share, 30 shares, not going to break anybody. It's just something to be a part of, something that is bigger than you and I. That's the goal.
Okay. So, our people, Eduardo, seriously, I would like to invite you again so you and I can go into the language that is in the letter of incorporation process. I really like for you to give us more on that. But let me ask you this.
Yeah.
And all of these are, for me, they're very serious questions.
Yes, sir.
People go on your page,
Mm-hmm.
they see you with taking shovels, cement, putting a wheelbarrow or something like that. I know you have a business or doing something over there.
Yeah.
How do you guard against Liberians 2, 3, 4 years down the line? Say, oh, but our money that all reach online.
Yeah.
How do you guard against those kinds of stuff? Or those things, they don't matter as long your result show to the public what you're doing.
Yeah, Mr. So this is a valid question. One thing I love about this country, everything is on record. Everything is on record. And secondarily, this is something that will be filed every single year. Everybody will see what we've done and what everything is done. This is not something where government can get account or this person can get account. Every single quarter, every single month, every single day has to be accounted to the American and to the federal government here. Number one. Number two, I'm a pretty public person. A lot of people that are watching have probably seen me before. On what I own in the country. It's not something I have from anybody. I don't have anything so much in the country besides my 5-story, 15 apartment building, 150 acres, maybe 5 other lanes around Monrovia. That's all I own. And here in America, a couple of investment properties in my home that I'm living in. So that's what I own, and I work like regular anybody else that works. If that means now that maybe they say Dwalu eating Tawagi, that what money Dwalu using, it's easily verifiable. I don't worry about those petty things, for example, because anything I own will be very verifiable. So those things will be said. People will say things, and I don't worry about it because Dwalu will be an implementer. My issue, every single money that's expended through the corporation will be on paper, will be documented. This is not a government. I don't want you to think about this as a government. This is a private operation to grow a business. If I took your $150 or your $90 and I turn it into $1,000, I think you'll be celebrating more than you'll be questioning that Dwalu also makes some money in the process.
Right. So two more questions before we open the line here. Two more questions. And one of them have to do with the investment process itself.
Yeah.
In one of your documents, you guys are also saying that you want to empower Liberians businesses.
Correct.
And what have you. So I will suppose that that you guys want to take the money and perhaps loan it out to people to do business. Okay. All right. No. Explain that.
Okay. So we intend to start brand new businesses in the country. But here's the caveat to this. Let's say I go into Grand Bassa County and I hear this guy, he's making glass bottle. And he's making it by hand. Maybe every day, if he's lucky, he's making 30 glass bottle. We see this entrepreneur. We say, my man, this is a great operation. You know what wrong? We can invest into your business. They come to a contract agreement. We can buy the machine. Say you're making 30 glass cup every single day. You can make 2,000 glass cup. The corporation own 60%, 70%. You own your 30%. We can upscale this thing, and then we make more money together. If he or she agree, we invest into that Liberian business. Mr. So has a juicing operation. He's making 10 bottles of juices. Mr. So, you're wasting time. All the plum that are getting rotten here, let buy the machine. We expand the juicing operation. So on those little skills, we invest in Liberian businesses that way. But it will go through the same process. We look at the business. We do the analysis of the business. We come to the shareholder. Listen, we saw a great business. We believe this business can grow into a multi-million dollar business if we take another $1 million and invest it into that business. So the little scaling will be done. But our main objective is to start our own operations, major operations in the country.
Well, do you expect to see yourself as a conduit for the international community or whatever investment opportunity out there to come through you?
Yes, sir.
And if so, what are you doing to attract those people towards your house or whatever you want to call it?
So in the beginning, you're not going to attract people so easily because the international community want to see something before they put something there. So the Liberian Diaspora Corporation, I want you guys to understand something. Every time we win an MCC grant or every time the big countries give us some money, close to 90% of that money come back to the West. One of the things they always say, we don't have the expertise to do this or do that. Now, the corporation intends to build, remember, the fourth pillar is to bring Liberian expertise back to the country. So we can take advantage of some of these monies that will be coming to our country. So yes, we intend to be a conduit through which these multinational and these international bodies go through to effectuate some change on the ground through collaboration with the government. So let's take the roads around the country, for example. While we're bringing in the Chinese, the Liberian Diaspora Corporation can build a road construction company that is comparable to any in the world. Our standard will be something that is international, and that's how we intend to build it. So now, instead of having the Chinese bid, maybe even if we can't do all, maybe we can collaborate with the Chinese. We go 50-50 on that deal in the beginning. And as we grow the cooperation, we take 100% of it. Remember, our goal is to gradually groom and grow the cooperation, to take over everything 100%.
So you talk about construction and road. That's my area, of course, and that just pricked my interest a little bit. I was wondering though, with this idea that you just put forth, is there something that perhaps you want to talk to some Liberian businesses and those that are already in the business of construction or even in the business of design and try to bring them under your wing? Is that something
That's a consideration? That's a consideration. Remember, the goal is to build a conglomerate, Mr. Toll. The goal is to build a conglomerate. So in the portfolio of the business, so for instance, if we have a division in K-Mount, that division, even though it reports to the headquarters in Monrovia, but most of the things that happen over there is under that division. So if we have a businessman already in K-Mount, we can do a collaboration. Remember now, our goal is to create Liberian millionaires to develop the country. So any way we can promote any Liberian millionaire to do business dealing that is of mutual benefit. Remember now, we got shareholders to report to. If we don't make the shareholders money, we die. Okay. We die as a corporation.
One more question.
Yep.
As you know, most Liberians that are doing businesses in Liberia do business with the government.
Correct.
And the government is notorious.
Correct.
I'm not paying their business dealing or people that they do business with. They give contract, they don't pay them.
Correct.
How do you guard against something like that?
Mr. So we will not have all the solution in the beginning, but the way we intend to do, almost everything we do will be private in the beginning. Our focus is not even to deal with the government, with the exception of our registration, our taxes we pay, etc. Our focus is not even to deal with the government. As we get stronger, we're going to venture into area that is almost entirely private. As we get stronger, we add another enclave to that position. As we get stronger, we add another enclave. We are fully aware that we are a small country and we will have to deal with the government. I understand that, but our focus is not even the government. Remember, most of the things that we've set aside to begin with, like large-scale fishing farming, less with the government. Rest production, less with the government. African food and packaging and export out of the country, less with the government. Maybe we'll buy a medium-sized container ship to ship goods to market, less with the government. As we get stronger and gain some influence, maybe we can venture into government contracts. Now, at that point, we will have a strategy on how to get our money, because you cannot take shareholders' money and play tour with it, and we understand this. But by the same token, we understand the environment in which we're operating. other people navigated this. We will read extensively to understand what they've done to navigate those. But our focus is entirely private sector development in the beginning. That's what we intend to do.
Do you guys also intend, as you get involved into Liberia businesses and things like that, the Liberian diaspora that have expertise in this area,
Mhm.
and not necessarily contributing with money, but do you guys intend to utilize their services? That most of them most likely want to do pro bono type deal and come and talk to your business partners and how to and give them some experiences and things as how to grow business in and things like that. Do you guys intend
Anything,
to utilize that?
anything that will grow the organization, we will utilize it.
Okay.
If it benefits the organization. Remember now, guys, we are trying to build something that effectuates some change in the country, that grows the country. We will take advantage of any expertise. Remember, we want to get Liberian expertise back into the country. So if we have a Liberian engineer, a Liberian great at carpentry, or a Liberian great at plumbing, and he or she said, listen, the Liberian diaspora plumbing division, my man, I'll be in Liberia for the next 2 months, and I want to train some of your guy in how to adequately attach the socket. We're not going to pass that up. We utilize that because he's transferring some skill, and that's the kind of cooperation we want to build. Yes.
Thank you. Again, folks, this is the website you can go to and get most of the information that Mr. Dwalo is talking about here. And so you can read it for yourself. And I believe they have contact information on there as well, where you will be able to contact them if you have questions and what have you. We will now open the the line for folks to call in 916-533-2048. Oh, that's on the wrong number. Wrong number. Of course. Uh, okay. Don't call that number. The number up there. Don't call. You call that Chinese phone. It don't work. Okay. All right. We'll talk contact. Just hold on. Let me put the people number up. Let me put this number up 916. Okay. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I know you're calling now. You just give me a minute. Let me put this up. Okay.
And if you're listening and you already got your share certificate, let me know. We have shipped out over 70 share certificates already.
Walter Cutter, good evening. You're the first caller. What's on your mind? We have with us Dwalo, who is giving us some.
And I'm my cousin or the actual blood cousin.
Oh, that CD show.
I know.
Thank you, the neighbor, and Dwalo, congratulations. And I don't have questions about Dwalo. I just have a few concerns, and I like to say in this open because I told, and by the way, Dwalo is my family man, Mr. So if you don't know, Toami, he's my family man, and we have been talking this in the back for a long time, and I like him.
But how Dwalo can be family with you?
Oh, I can't even tell you. I ain't gotta go on that one there. Stay out of that other business. You're conservative, wanna be celebrity out of it, okay?
Good.
No, but on a serious note, this is a good venture. Dwalo will be pushing for a very long time. And thank God it is picking up. My only advice to him, like I told him before, but behind closed door, and it's good to tell your friend, and most especially he's a family man, he's a brother. So I gotta tell him on the air too. To be able to succeed 100%, don't forget, Liberia is heavily political in our times. It's very political. Is to disengage from the political rhetoric, the propaganda, and all of things, and just focus on this venture. Because the more, don't forget, this thing is not for Unity Party. This thing is for all Liberians, as well as Unity Party, all the different other parties in Singapore. But if people, and what I'm saying is an example of Wilfred Russell. Wilfred Russell did not listen to me. He thought I was on a leg, kitchen boss sitting now, and I'm giving my advice. Disengage. Unite all Liberians in Minnesota behind you. Forget about the whole government talking here and running propaganda. And they say, see how you pay him off? Liberia have the most, the populated city in America. Open populated with Liberians, but they didn't vote for him the way they're supposed to because he took side and he was politicking too much, and I told him about it, but he didn't listen.
Thank
so
you.
I'm just advising my brother, cut the whole politics off, focus on this thing. When you get on school, talk about your business. Don't get involved in the people politics, because 95% of Liberian politics are a bunch of lies.
Okay.
If you do investigation a lot, so you just create people to have an animosity against you.
Thank
so
you.
that they can gravitate to the good venture. Let's not talk making good and people from our country
But
to
how you will come on a liberal show and try to
and in fact, let me be honest with you here. You should have come on Mr. So you can have even more audience and good publicity. This man is
I'm going there this week too, my man.
fine. His idea is unity party. I'm sorry, but next
Go to the main show.
to the real independent show.
Good night.
Anyway, thank you so much for having me, Mr.
Thank you.
Congratulations, man. More blessing.
Thank you. No, he's doing
Good advice. Good advice.
He's doing good in the community. Hello, caller, what's your name? Where you're calling from?
Yeah, this is Terry calling from Minnesota.
Okay, Terry, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Folks, don't use the other number. Use this number, please. The other number that you're checking for, it don't work well. Terry, hold on 1 minute. Let me merge this other caller, please. Hold on. Terry, are you there? Why you call and then you leave your volume high like that? Terry, just a minute. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, Terry, go ahead. Guys, yeah, go ahead, Terry, please.
Yeah, I just want to appreciate your guys' studios, giving us some good hopes and all that. But my concern has to do with whether if I think I heard you talking about.
Hold on, Terry. If you're on the line, you got to mute yourself.
Yeah,
or else we'll be having some
respond to his question. Yeah.
Mute yourself, Terry. Not you. Mute yourself. Go ahead, Terry.
Yeah. So my concern is two concerns. One, quickly, is that he's in the government and he supported this government.
Hold on, Terry. Hold on, let me merge the other questions. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but some of his staff, supporters are also supporters of this government.
Yeah.
Which is when these kind of projects are like this, a new government will now want to support, another government will not want to support you because they feel that you supported, especially, for example, the CDC government come to power. They will try to shrink the project. How is he going to wrap himself around that? What are the defense mechanism or strategies that he have in plan to be able to tackle the challenges that are going to come if a new government come to power?
Thank you.
And secondly, if you involve politicians, I think I heard you talking about that politicians like representatives, senators, so can have a share in it. And I think if you do that, it's going to cripple the intent of the project, because if those people buy shares, they have the money, they could turn it into a political draft wherein it becomes the means by which they get elected and come to power once they can control more share and the government, all that. So I was looking at whether if you will focus more on people, common Liberians who just want to work in the private sector and going to be mostly forward of politics and private sector based.
Thank you. Eduardo is taking notes, folks. So after everybody, then he will come in. Go ahead. Next caller. You're next in line. What's your name? Where you're calling from?
How are you doing?
Okay. All right. Okay. Go ahead, Clara.
Mr. Bill, how you doing?
Oh, fine. Thank you. Go ahead.
Clarence
Davis.
Yeah, this is Clarence Davis. I'm calling from Chicago, Illinois. Hello?
Yeah, we're listening. Go ahead.
I want to tell you thank you for the brilliant idea. These are the things that we have been looking for in our Liberian community. The
is a difficult country, you know. We know the politics in the country sometimes makes it difficult in the country. But a young man who is determined to see the progress of the country, there are a lot of temptation will come. There are a lot of naysayers will be in the corner. Be focused and be focused to what you want to do in order to improve the life of our people. It's a great idea. I've been following you from Sponsor. From the onset you and Isaac Battle Power introduced their program, they're talking on the Sponsor. I've been following you. And when you get the Obama share in our company, and we'll get to the link hopefully, and I will view over the weekend. But the idea that if Liberians is trying to elevate and getting it, like going to have a say in the Liberian community, like what our brother Keta said, Wilfred, but not supported because he had a political, he supported somebody. I don't think it's fair. And we take all the representation and go to the foreign national. How many Nigerians are we putting on the international map over there? Don't do away with the politics and focus on what can help our country. Thank you, Mr. Toll.
Thank you. Thank you. Next caller in line. Go ahead. The next.
Yeah, Mr. Toll, is that me?
Yes, that will be you. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Toll.
What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? Where you're calling from? So Dwalo will be able to jog it down.
Yeah, this is Chuduki. I'm calling from Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Dwalo, there's a good idea. You've been talking about it in Spoon Spoon. I didn't understand you first when you were talking about it on Spoon. But tonight I got clear clarification to what you are saying. I pray to God that you'll move forward to help our country. When you get to Virginia, sir, I'll be waiting to invest in your company too. So I gotta say, I hope that God will make it move forward.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Next caller in line. What's your name? Where you're calling from? And I believe you'll be the last caller here. No. Okay. Well, whoever it is. Go ahead. What's your name? Where you're calling from? Yeah. Go ahead.
Hello. Yes. How you doing?
Thank you. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
My name is Saturday, and I'm calling from Connecticut.
Okay, Saturday. Go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to tell Dwalo that's a good thinking and good, let's say, thing for Liberia. I want to know what is the least amount of share that a guy who don't have money that all can purchase.
One.
And he said it's 5,000 should be the maximum.
No. Maximum for people who want to come and steal. Because they got plenty of money, y'all want to buy and do a hostile takeover. So they say no. They think for small people, like Samson told them.
You and myself, right?
Yeah. You can buy one share. But you can go as much as 5,000. You can't go above that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one share that $100. So if you want to buy two, that $200.
Thank you.
That is a good thing, you know. I will take that. I saw you putting all the contact, the website.
Yeah. Let me pull it up again. You see the website here? It's called Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund.com. Okay? All right.
That's I would just want to tell Dwalo that thank you very much, because that is a good thinking about Liberia. If people don't come together to do this, nobody gonna do it for us.
Yeah.
We all need to rally around Dwalo to do this. It's something that I am happy about. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, guys, we're gonna have to let Dwalo out, so we'll make this a last call. I don't want to have a prolonged conversation here tonight.
I'm here anytime for 3 hours. Yeah, anyone.
Okay.
So that's the last one.
Yeah, that will be the last one, Dwalo.
Okay.
So, well, here we go. They're still calling. All right, let me take this out. Hello, caller, Samson Toll, Liberal Public Radio. I'm here with Dwalo here tonight. What's your name? Where you're calling from? So that means the person who's calling for business. Okay, let me see. Oh, they're calling. Hello, where you want?
Dwello and the people. He in front of me now. Right? Asking that guy where.
Hold on. Let me merge the other caller. Hold on. Yeah, what you say you want? I hear we're importing person tonight. Go ahead.
Well, good evening, Mr. So. Let me say good evening to your studio guest.
Thank you.
Mr. Dwallo, how are you? This is Prince Sharif, and I'll call you from...
No, but I don't you I was talking to that the other soul man I was talking to, Mr. Soul. You don't want kick out. So go ahead, Sherry. Then Mr. Soul will come in.
All right. Okay. Thank you for the opportunity. Again, let me say thanks. I on several occasions I've listened to my brother Dwallo, with his idea, which I think is very good. And it's something that many Liberians should rally around, because it has to do with empowering us Liberians. But there are a few things that we need to, put out here in the public. I think it would be unfair if we try to, divulge or try to, disassociate Mr. Dwallo from all of the political, shenanigans that have been going on in Liberia. I think it would be unfair to him. Why it is true that, he may have his own political alignment or maybe his own political idea, but that does not, divulge his love for his country or to invest in his country. So we cannot divulge, his political, critique from what has been happening. That is one. The second thing is, it is unfortunate, and I can say this, I'm not discouraging any Liberian, but let's be fair and be frank. In order for, idea like this to flourish in Liberia, you must have the atmosphere and you must have the willingness of the government to be able to protect, to create an atmosphere where Liberians that will want to invest in their own economy and provide jobs that will be encouraged. But I can tell you for sure that all of this particular government is caring, because the government itself is not even encouraging the liberalization policy. I give an example. Look at this issue of recent with the traffic division, where you had a Liberian company that had an opportunity to print licenses, and other stuff like that. This particular government was able to fight a Liberian company only because they wanted to give an opportunity to a foreign company that is owned by Lebanese. But thank God the Supreme Court came and ruled, in favor of the Liberian company. But again, like we continue to say, look, this government must be able to demonstrate that it is willing to encourage Liberians and that Liberians' investment will be secure. But as you can see, this is the president who said, and even mock Liberia, that those are here that in America, and Donald Trump coming for you, he coming saying your back. Look, we must be fair, sincere, and frank. These are all things that we really want to rally around. But again, with Mr. Bleka and his government, look, they are not serious to protect Liberian investment. Look at what is happening. These people prefer foreign investment over our own Liberian investment. So what is the security in order for us to invest? We are willing to run with these ideas, but do we have a government that is responsible to protect our interests as Liberian? And I would say uprightly, no. We don't have it.
Thank you.
The reason why we must force the government to ensure that the liberalization policy is strong and they implement it. We must force this government, because that's why they came for, to rescue Liberia and not to subject Liberia into abject poverty like they do with motorcycles
thank you.
People around the place.
Thank you, Mr. Sherry. We appreciate that. Thank you for calling in. Let's go to Mr. So. Mr. So, go ahead.
Thank you for coming up here. We've been talking for quite a long while, way before even getting us home. Very great, brilliant idea. These are visionary. Let me just disabuse your host. They are some of the dream killers. So look at an old grown man and they are early age, and how is Zuckerberg the network, the platform that you are sitting on today for you something too? Come out and ask me that kind of question. He was diplomatic, so I kind of like this abuse. But look, Dwallo is a good thing. I think I took away a very key point from one of the callers, and that is cattle. how deadly polarized our society. Hey, listen to the last call here. Always time people going to always time people with all sort of and this is how it comes down. But we're going to talk behind the scene. We had a conversation the other day. We come on, we will try our best to sell this because the sources of this is not just only you. It's empowerment.
Yeah.
So why, but this tendency that we have, we as a Liberian people, if it is not you, it should not be anybody, is bad. We need to get out of that. It's not helping our country. It has never helped. And so someone to come up with such a vision, know life itself is a risk. And nobody knows. All what we're doing here, we don't know where it's going to end up. But we have to take objective race. We're going to have a conversation more on that. I'm looking forward to the day EMI for the function in Massachusetts as part of our commitment to support whatever is right. We will do that. I really don't have a question, but I'm just disappointed at the Liberal here tonight who tries to be more lecturer and asking you ridiculous questions. How old are you? And you're doing this and this and that. These are the puppy. We need to retire. That's one of the first men we're going to give a certificate of retirement on this job here. Donald, I will see you on Wednesday.
Thank you. Thank you. that a conservative view we got on the show here. So yeah.
So let me answer the people.
Another person calling. Let me get it. Let me get it on. Go ahead, caller. What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, man, bro? Dear Victor Namwe here.
Victor Namwe, how you doing, Chief?
Hey, what's up, my brother? Duale, what's happening, young man?
What's going on, Chief?
So, thanks to you and the team. I don't know much about what you do yet, but I read up a little bit and I heard you talk about it a lot. So, like pretty much everyone is saying, this is a good thing, you know, and certainly you guys will manage well. Like I said, I reached out to you a couple of weeks back when you were getting ready to launch. I am coming to you from the Yola perspective. I represent the diaspora engagement, and we would certainly like to, link up and engage with you guys.
Yeah.
What I'm wondering is, I know you already have constituted your team. What options are available there for people like ourselves who are coming in with our organizations, not as individuals, but
why are you still live? This is a good question. I want to.
Are you still hoping to engage as corporate partners as opposed to just subscribers?
Okay. Now wait, you got to take your answer off the air, so he wants to respond to that before he goes to everything else. Right now, right, Dualo?
Yes.
Okay.
So
now wait, let him get off and then listen to you.
No, you don't have to get off. He can be on. Maybe he can get a little rebuttal.
Can you hear me? Can you hear him? No.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
So, Brother Victor Namwe, thanks for actually calling into the show.
No, I can't hear him.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
You can't hear him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's done.
All right. Thank you. If you hear him responding,
if he's coming on tomorrow, I will be coming.
I'll be on tomorrow.
Who show you coming on tomorrow? Now when you come and start trouble.
No, but I'll come here tomorrow, Mr.
Now the other group, don't promote them. Don't promote them. Promote me. No, I'm just kidding. We're all gonna be there. Okay. Yeah. Now, he will be on Mr. Soul's show tomorrow. Because this is a good idea that this young man is doing, and we'll do whatever we can to make sure we promote it. But thank you. So listening for the answer, and if you have any other comment you want to call back, we'll take that call.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Okay. So go ahead, Dualo. You heard
and I appreciate what Mr. Namwe said, and I want him to listen to me very carefully. The reason why the board of directors have not been founded yet is because I didn't want to do it. I wanted us to build the board of directors together. The quota officer, currently we are 3, we need 7. So we are open to these kind of collaboration. Anything that will promote. Look, I don't want anybody to think this is a Dualo thing. I want you to disabuse your minds from that. Maybe tomorrow, Mr. Namwe is the CEO and president of the Liberian Diaspora Corporation. This is not something that is for me. This is something that will be decided by the shareholders. I want us to think beyond this being something Dwalu started. I don't want to think that way. So we are open to any organization that will be willing to collaborate to build the quota officers together, so we can build the board of directors together. We are open to that 100%. An organization like ULA, with their kind of reach, maybe we can raise the money faster, so we can kind of effectuate the change that we've been trying to get in Liberia for a long time. So, Mr. Nangbe, absolutely yes. And I want to, before I answer the callers, I want to answer Rovia George. He asked a very good question. He said, if I invest $5,000, Mr. Dwalu, when would I get my money back, or how do I get my money back? $5,000 is a great sum to invest into the corporation, but like anybody else who will invest, you will be held to the same standards. And this is the standard. The standard is very simple. We sent you a prospectus in the mail and a share purchase agreement in the mail when you purchase your certificate. From the date of first investment, so it would take us approximately 1 to 2 years to raise the money. If it takes us 1 year, only 1 year. That means if we come back to the shareholders and say, listen, we will take $10 million and we invest in rice production. From the date of that agreement where the shareholders vote, your 5 years begin. So if your share was bought at $90, and then within 5 years, if your share are $500 per share, and you bought 50 shares, which is $5,000 is 50 share, that would be $500 times 50. That would be the return on your money at that time. After 5 years, you can cash in, or you can continue to hold your share. Maybe your share price go to 1,005, 2,005. It's up to you. The goal is to grow the share price. As the organization grows, the share price is going to grow. We will do the basic calculation, the same way they calculate share prices, and we say, you know what, wrong? We just built another road construction. Maybe we built apartment complexes in Liberia. Maybe we start a construction business, a new farming industry, cassava expansion, potato green expansion. That's how your share price will be growing. So how do you get money? Let me answer the questions. Mr. Ketor, my own cousin. I'm not going to argue with you. You're 100% right. Politics has to be out of this, because I want people to take it too personally. If you're involved in politics, even you can bring them the best possible option, they get emotional. I have to stay from politics 100%. So even when Mr. Tour was asking me some question, I cringed a little bit because I didn't want to talk about politics, because I know it should not be an issue. We should be able to divorce that, even if a man doesn't talk about the position you've taken. As long as what we intended to do is going to help the country, politics should not matter. But I agree with you, Mr. Ketor. I have to stay away from politics entirely. Okay? Mr. Terry asked a question. Why, if you go to the country and President Weah comes to power the next time around, and you did not support President Weah, or you criticized President Weah in the past, or the CDC administration, and they tried to strangulate this corporation? I want to say this to you, Mr. Terry. This is a Liberian diaspora corporation, including Liberians back home. This is an organization intended to expand the economy in Liberia and grow the government tax base. No government that is sensible enough will want to strangulate an organization that will be paying millions of dollars into the government coffer. I think it would be in their best interest to promote it, but I cannot decide what they're going to do. I believe personally it would be foolish for any government to strangulate something that's going to grow the Liberian economy. That would be bad for the government. And Clarence, my brother Clarence David says, thank you. I want to thank Clarence David very much for the support. And we appreciate, you don't even know how much your support means when you guys come on and call the show. Say, Mr. Dwalu, we encourage this, we will support the project. But I want you guys to always remember this. Dr. George Toto here could be the president and CEO of the Liberian Corporation tomorrow. Don't think about this as Dwalu Corporation. Think about it. That's something other are doing. Other are pour hand around it. That's why they not build the board of director. That's why they not even incorporate more quota officers, because I want us to literally build them on the website live where we vote on them. If Dr. Toto comes to this organization, we vet him. The corporation vets him. The public vet him and say, okay, he's a good person to be added on the board of director. That's how we build the corporation. Think about it. That's something that belongs to all of us. Okay? And my brother Tia, I want to thank you as well. Thanks for the support and thanks for your promise to invest. We appreciate it. Dwalu, can I add my beneficiary in case? Yes. If you purchase a share certificate, those of you already received your share, on the back of the certificate, it has a beneficiary. So you can put up to 6 people as a beneficiary. So there's a beneficiary option. So God forbid you die, your share doesn't go to waste. Your beneficiary can claim that. yes, there's a beneficiary on your share certificate as well. For those of you who already bought your shares, you saw that you have a beneficiary page to it. Okay, my brother Saturday wants to know how many shares the minimum. The minimum is 1 share, but the maximum, like my brother Mr. Toe said, is 5,000 shares, because we don't want Mr. Toe to go cash in your retirement. He can't control the company. We want every Liberian to have total control of the corporation. And to my brother Prince Sharif, it's a pleasure hearing from you, Mr. Sharif. It's been a long time. You know, I want to say this to you, Mr. Sharif. Some of your points may be valid, because we always say, you know, whenever we support a group of people and those people not in power, we feel the other people that are in power may not protect us. I want to say this. I did not support President Weah. People know this, but I invested more money in Liberia under President Weah than I did under any administration. Let me repeat. I personally invested more money in Liberia while President Weah was president than any other person. This is not something that is hidden. This is something that was published on Spoon. It was everywhere. Okay? I published a lot of money. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. I published in the country when President Weah was in power. I understand that. I believe the country is safe. But Mr. Sherry, I want to say this to you. We all have a duty. Sometimes we hate the direction of the country and we hate the person that's in power. But we have a duty, Mr. Sharif, to continue to push to right Liberia, to right the wrongs that are happening in Liberia. And I believe through enterprise, as we begin to create jobs across the country, some of the places that is chaotic, we're going to make them whole through enterprise. So for instance, we went to Cape Mount County and a lot of people unemployed, they hit the government, but we bought 3-4 fishing boats that we bring into the country. We built a massive cold storage in Cape Mount County. We put 3,000-4,000 people to work. They will stop worrying about the government. They will focus on the job and they begin to build quality Liberian family. I don't want you to think about the government and the chaos in Liberia right now. This chaos has always been there. The only way we get rid of this chaos is to do infusing economics, infusing entrepreneurship back into our country so we can grow the country, Mr. Sherry. And I pray you join me so we can do this. And to the senior man, Mr. Soul, thank you for the call. I will see you guys tomorrow. I will be on the show. Thank you for the support. This cannot fail. This must happen so we can build something that we can leave to our children. Look, Mr. Soul, one thing that keeps me up at night, I want for a second grader up in Zwedru or in Vonjima or in Banga or in Kakata to look in his car and see in giant bold letters, the Liberian Diaspora Corporation on the 55th floor. This is our headquarters. And he or she gets inspired to do something bigger than ourselves. This is the dream, guys.
Is it Dr. Toto?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Eduardo, Dr. Toto just sent a message here, so please take his call.
Yeah.
Dr. Toto, we're completely out of time, but go ahead. You're a member of LPR anyway. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Libra. Thank you to Adu for the good initiative. Thank you for mentioning my name to be the future CEO.
Yeah.
But don't tell it. Put money and go to Bon County. Do that. Yeah, do that. What's his name, McGill? Anyone will bill here. Hey, stay here. Don't do that.
Yeah. But the concern I wanted to raise, right? When you are on the show, they go on Saturday on the podcast, and when I go into the show, I wanted to make this in member. I didn't have the opportunity. The guest that on the show, he made a comment. He said, people invest in cryptocurrency. People that invest in cryptocurrency, they be asked where their money was placed. But cryptocurrency got been robbed, and nobody made big deal of it. And which I took a second of it, is I think if they build to succeed in the Liberian community or in the diaspora, we have to motivate our people with a clear culture and to think very positively to make good decisions or either investment.
No. Because
what happened in the cryptocurrency market, it affected a lot of people. People talk to get a good return on their investment. Unfortunately, they didn't.
Can I call you back, Victor?
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Then hold on, Victor. Let Dr. Tutu finish. I'll bring you in. Just hold on. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like I say, so the cryptocurrency incident that happened, I affected millions of people around the world, including some of us that in the diaspora. We got robbed on a cryptocurrency. So if we are to make the diaspora or investments to be successful in the matter of Liberia, we have to motivate them to think big.
Yeah.
Because what happened in the cryptocurrency world, we shouldn't bring it into the sense of discussion to say, okay, people invest in cryptocurrency, they didn't know where their money was going, but they took a big loss. So that one thing, now we're trying to focus on the positive aspect of being
I agree.
successful dream that you and others have established.
Thank you.
Definitely you see that share flowing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. To appreciate it. All right, let me take Victor Smith, who is in Liberia, who's listening to the show as well. Let me see if I can put him on.
Thanks for calling from Liberia.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Victor.
Yes. Thank you for taking my call, Samson To, and thank you again, Dualu, for this thought-through idea you have brought forth. This is something that most of us has thought of many years, and that's why we've been working towards to build a word to Liberian, citizenry. And over the years, I think between in the 60s and 70s, Liberia were the entrepreneurs. They were into every sector in Liberia. Right after 1980, things went down the drain. Now our economy is fully controlled by foreigners.
Yeah.
My own question is, for this to work, Dualu, I think the entire office of the diaspora investment should be really stationed in Liberia, so that we in Liberia can walk to the diaspora's office and buy shares into what you guys are going to do.
Yeah.
But keeping it about 1,000 of miles, the headquarters away from here will really not, it will work, but it will not show the sign of nationalism. So my question is, are there plans on the way that your office will now be fully located in Liberia?
Yes.
Yes, he
The
said.
basic answer is yes.
Oh, you say yes?
Yes.
If yes, how long?
How long will you?
Okay, so let him finish our answer.
All right, we'll let him finish. Finish Victor, then you can listen to him on the show.
Okay, how long when? A classic example of investment working in Liberia is Simeco. And most Liberians have bought share in Simeco. I think you also reach out to them and see what they are doing. They're a foreign company. So I hope to see your office on Broad Street soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're not going to squeeze ourselves on Broad Street.
Am I putting you all the way on Broad Street already?
No. We're not going on Broad Street. We want a park. We're an American corporation. We're building a park, an office park. We're not squeezing. We want yard. We want gardening. We want something that's we want a greater ambience. But yes, the preparation. Look, you got to understand, Mr. Smith, and thank you for the call, and we appreciate the encouragement as well. We just launched. It's been less than a month. Fatima is on the way to Liberia. We're trying to coordinate. The major 99.9% of our operation will be in Liberia, 100%. There will be a massive headquarters. If you were listening before, I said we intend to build the first skyscraper in Liberia to be the Liberian diaspora headquarters. Everything we do will be in Liberia. The reason why we maintain an American office here will be for a singular reason, for the sake of transparency and integrity. Because I don't want anybody to doubt what we do, to say this and that, because we have to report all our filing to the Americans and we'll make it public, because we don't want nothing. Because if we file in Liberia, there will still be this doubt. And I want to remove every doubt. So, Mr. Victor Smith, don't worry. 99.9% of what we do is going to be in Liberia. There will be a headquarters. There will be a place in Liberia soon where you can go and buy a share. But we're just starting. It costs money to raise money. So we got to raise some fees. The $10 what you're paying, that I've seen $10 we're using to travel, that I've seen $10 we use to set up this office in Liberia, that I've seen $10 we use for postage, that I've seen $10 doing everything because we don't have a seed money. And I want to say this. Look, we reached out to some prominent Liberians here in America, and we have reached out to the government itself. We need seed money. Look, Mr. To, I'm running this operation. Me, Asi, and Fatima. It is very time consuming. I even want to quit my job to be able to do this full time because it requires a lot of time. And if I get the opportunity, even we'll get the seed money, because at a very minimum, to be able to raise this money, I want to repeat this. It costs anywhere from 10 cents to 90 cents to raise $1. Let me repeat, 10 cents to 90 cents to raise $1. So at a very minimum, we need nothing less than $5 million to be able to raise the $25 million. But we don't have that kind of money. So we are reaching for Scroll to see if we can get $2 or $3 million somewhere. So the first 7 people, because we cannot take Mr. So from his job and you don't Mr. To from his job and you don't pay him. You can't run this thing in a poor way. You got to run it at the same level they use here to raise money. Because if I leave my job, if the 7 people leave the job, you got to pay them. We're not paying you hard money. But if you pay them $5,000 or $6,000 a month, and you cover the traveling expenses, and you cover the expenses to be able to run the operation to raise this money, we can raise the money faster. We even reached out to the government and said, listen, even if you want to have this money coming initially, where as we raise our money, we begin generation, we pay the government back. But to raise money, Mr. So, it costs money. It costs money, and I want you to understand it. So we will come to Liberia, but my people, it costs money. It costs up to 90 cents to raise $1. That's what it costs. Mr. So.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dwalo. We want to thank you very much for a little bit, 4 second over the time, but this is Liberia's show.
Yeah.
This is our own thing. We're not on NBC or anything like that to say, what have you. So give us your closing. But before you give us your closing, though, I know we're all Liberians, but to see you came in this country to better your life, and I think you have achieved that. There's no question asked. But I bet you came in this country with maybe $5 million in your pocket. There's no Liberian, to be honest with you. I know many of us came in this country. You'll be lucky if you get $100 in your pocket.
You'll be lucky. I mean, yeah. I was a child, so
yes. Okay, but yeah, you are. Especially to grow up in this country.
Yeah.
It's a tax.
Yeah.
It's a tax to be able to keep your hair straight and continue to do what you have to do and improve yourself to be able to put yourself in the type of position. The question I have for you before you can give us your closing is, how do you feel to have your peers, fellow Liberians, to not only gravitate towards the idea, but that to see them engage in such a faction, being energetic, to be honest, trying to be part of this thing here, which is the brainchild of yours and other members. But how does it make you feel?
Mr. To, in Liberia, they say, be making cry, right? Ain't I heard that phrase before?
Yeah.
That loud, be making cry. I want to tell you this, from Australia to Western Europe to parts of Africa, I have not had one person, they may have a little disagreement here, but I have one person that have not called me from Sweden to Norway and said, Mr. Dwalu, thank you. It can give me great joy. Great joy. And what it does additionally, it's forcing me to want more. That if we can do this, and Mr. So, one of the celebrations that I have in my mind, imagine we build a multi-billion-dollar corporation. All. Yeah? And we leave it to our children and carry Liberia in from small. What a legacy. So for me, it gives me great joy. In fact, one time, I'll tell you a quick story. I had maybe about 7 or 8 motorbike boys. They came from Rayleigh, they were passed to Borough, and one of the pickings said, "Oh, I got people that open no more. You think you're joking?" So he called me. And they were like 7 up, and they say, people that OP, they say, you want bring joy, and they were on a video, you want bring joy to Liberia because the motorbike hitting our back. I was telling the man said that lie. I said, my beginning, you pray for me. So they said, people that OP, don't worry, we're putting our 2 more money together when you count one buy one share. Motorbike boys. It brought tears to my eyes and making us want to do more. And this is how joyful this has become. So for me, I think it's a legacy move, and I pray every day that God is so kind that He can bless this, that we can build something. We can build something that we can leave to our children and carry Liberia from small. I think it's a great legacy. Even the ancestors will be glad. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, I guess perhaps this. What would be your final closing? Or is there anything that perhaps you want to bring in here that maybe we didn't have the opportunity to talk about?
No, we,
Uh,
we, we cover we cover a lot of things, Mr. Toll. A lot of
since you talk to you have some sort of a relationship with Walter Carter, who is also an independent people. I don't get along with you. You got 2 seconds.
I got two
No,
seconds.
no,
But I want to
no,
say this,
Eduardo. Go
Mr.
ahead,
Toll.
go ahead, my
Yeah.
brother. Go ahead.
We have to say this. Look, um, us coming to America is not by chance. When I went home one time, my sister said, Opa, that God grace we're living by you. I really didn't understand that. I really didn't understand it. And I didn't grow up in Liberia. 1990, we crossed the border, 12 years old. We crossed the border into Ivory Coast. I was fortunate my father was out here. We went to a low refugee school there in Ivory Coast, and then we came here. I finished my high school years here, right here in the state of Massachusetts. We are the fortunate generation. And one thing that's bothered me for a very long time, with all the opportunity we've been given, we have not effectuated any change in Liberia that is substantial or that somebody can really point to and say, this is what we've done. And I'm not downplaying what we have done in terms of sending money home, but this is to our family members. But we've not organized better. And my issue here is we can find a way to organize better, and then we can come back to the country and say, listen, darling boy, we did not go to America just to just care about ourselves. We thought about you the whole time. We've come back home to see a way that we can improve your life and the standard of living here in the country. And I think collectively, if we can do that, if we can create large-scale fishing farming or a poultry industry or pig farming or tilapia farming, small-scale manufacturing across the country. This was done by the Liberian Diaspora Corporation with the Liberian Diaspora on everything that's controlling the Liberian economy. I think then our coming to America would have meant something. But if I was stay here in America, it's just for us and our individual family, that's how much we can do. Okay, if you buy like 1,000 shares and get your certificate now, can you increase your share in the future? Yes, you are not limited to amount of time. You have an entire time to purchase share until the shares get done. We issue 275,000 shares. So long we have share, you can purchase. The only restriction is you cannot go over 5,000 share per issuance. So if you 5 in your family, each of you can buy 5,000 share a piece. That means in your family, you can get 25,000 share. Remember, everything we vote on in the corporation will be based on share. If you buy 1 share, you get 1 vote. If you buy 1,000 share, you get 1,000 votes. So people that will be buying 10, 20, 15 share, they get bigger votes because they'll be able to sway the direction of the corporation. And that's why we capped the corporation to 5,000 share per person, because we don't want Mr. Solo putting in retirement money, Mr. Total putting out there and control the corporation. We will not have it. We will not have it. We want everybody to have a say. So that's the whole thing. We have to do something in the country. Let our coming to America mean something to Liberia in a substantial way. Maybe we build a new power hydro dam, 600 megawatt. What a legacy that would be for us. Yeah. You're muted, sir.
That's what I do. I'm very good at that, muting and talking. But thank you very much. What I can offer, while of course we're also thinking about to have this discussion with my family as well. But what I do know, what I can offer is once you guys are successful, I don't mind offering my engineering expertise
Yes, sir.
when the time comes, free of charge, of course, to be able to empower any kinds of engine, whether it be a construction firm you have or engine design firm you have, roadway design firm, we will offer our expertise as well. But I want to thank you very much for
And
taking.
Mr. Don just asked a crucial question. Let me answer it quickly.
Yeah, please.
Is that Dan of my class? Okay, Dan Don. Okay. And Mr. Don, we don't have to raise, even though it's a target, but we don't have to raise it now. We can't just say we're raising the money forever. So let's say 1 year comes around and we only raise $10 million. We will come back to the shareholders and say, listen, it is 1 year, even though our goal is in 2 years. Do you want us to go towards the 2 years, or do we take the $10 million and start the first project? That's something we can vote on the website. Even though the target is 25 million, maybe we want to raise 15 million. So it depends, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, Eduardo, thank you very much. Like I said, we will be here. Hopefully, we'll have the opportunity to talk to you again one-on-one,
Yes,
so
sir.
that we can go into the specifically what interests me is the lawyer language that they have in there.
Yeah.
You can read, even if you can read with understanding,
Thank you.
it's very difficult. and then especially someone from Total who have the issue of reading with understanding. But I want to thank you very much for spending time with us here on LPI, and I'm sure you'll be on Mr. Social hopefully tomorrow. We're all going to migrate over there and have the conversation. But thank you very much, and we'll say good night to you.
Thank you. Thank you to the audience, as always.
Thank you. Again, folks, Samson told Labro Public Radio, I want to thank all of you that participated in the show tonight. It was a wonderful, wonderful program to have Mr. Dwalo here to enlighten us about this wonderful, wonderful idea of his and his buddies. Let me put it here. He said Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund.com. If you can reach out, they will be able to reach out back to you, of course, and have the conversation with all of you guys. I think this is a wonderful thing. Let's see if we can go and purchase fund, because I think one of the interesting things that I believe is happening here, and what Dwalo and his folks have started, if people, when they want money, when they're running campaign, they want money, they come running to us, right? When they want money, they come running to us for us to go to fundraiser and give them money. But when they make a decision, they don't want to talk to us. So can you imagine if Mr. Dwalo and his people are successful in raising these kinds of funds? The people come back into, when we say, because here's the thing here, we're investing in there, right? We're investing in Liberian businesses, right? And who paid the businesses will want to contribute to somebody's campaign. Can you imagine the kinds of power we're going to have? Please join this group. Samson to Liberian Public. I want to thank all of you again tonight. Let's meet on Mr. Soul Show tomorrow, or hopefully Dwalo will be there also to provide some more information. Again, Samson to Liberian Public Radio. The Libra is the only Libra on this show. Thank you very much, and good night, folks.
Ateito, nalukiona